Okay, so hi everyone. It is welcome to my Facebook Live, and thank you for joining in. It is 10:30 at the moment, Monday morning, Pacific Standard Time. I am in Vancouver, well, technically Surrey, and I welcome you. I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself. I am Liz Holloway, and I actually do a lot of designs uh, using Stampin' Up products, and I am a demo in Canada. And then for those who know me, I am a heavy user for with my electronic cutter, and I used to create 3D SVG files working with Stampin' Up products. So anyways, getting back, I'm going to talk a little bit just to make sure that everyone is catching up on the feeds, and then I will get back into some stamping. And I have actually been working full-time now and getting back into routine as to doing Facebook Live with my private site, the customer's private site. And then now I'm back on routine working on tutorials here at the Liz Holloway Design business page. And so working full time, it was a little hard for me to get everything done, so I thought I would get things done in a smaller chunk. And so what I'm doing now is creating SVG files for any demos who would like the files, and it's for your electronic cutter, and it's to work with stamp sets that Stampin' Up doesn't have. If you are willing to join or wanting to join me, you are more than welcome to join my team, because these are all available for you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is switch over to my desktop, and I will show you what I have been working on. Let's go with this one with my face. Okay, so the latest, I showed this a couple of weeks ago about the case daubers, and it's got the neutral, bright, subtles, and the regals, and it holds 40 daubers in here. It comes into like our wood case, and what's really great about this is that when it's actually full, it doesn't collapse right away, but after a while it will collapse, and you can see that it is holding. Okay, and I had actually made this so that I wanted to decorate it a little bit rather than just having a case closed. And then what I wanted to also show you was that this is full of daubers, and it is working with our foam. Okay, our piercing mat, and it's got the neutral, brights, and subtles, and the regals, and also will provide you with a template that sits outside. What's the beauty about this case is that if it falls, it doesn't fall. Look at all the daubers, it's still intact. Okay, it's all intact, and I'm shaking it, and so that's one thing about I love about this dauber case. And so this was version 1. And snap this back into place. Okay, and then because there was so many orders, I couldn't keep up with the orders. I decided that I would create this collapsible. It's got this locking case, and it just moves right up and then moves right back down to lock it into place. And you don't really need it, but it just adds a special feature. And again, this is full of brand new daubers, and I haven't locked down the foam yet or glued down the foam, but I just wanted to show you what I have been doing lately. So if you're inquiring about these dauber cases, let me know and I will get one to you. Okay, so here I'm working on what I call a hand-delivered gift card. Because Christmas is coming pretty soon, I thought I would make a bunch of Christmas cards, and I wanted to show you how to use your electronic cutter and making multiple cards to sell at craft shows. And I decided that rather than just using the Christmas using a Christmas card, you can also use it for birthdays or anything, thank you gifts. And I would be playing around with the blending pens. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. This is the hand deliver stamp set, and you can only get this when you are when you have a qualified order of $125 in Canada, but I think in the US it's different, so I don't really know what the actual qualifying order would be. I think it might be $150 or something like that. But anyways, when I was playing around with this set, it was like, oh my god, I gotta like hand fussy cut this, and I decided that I would make an SVG file for your electronic cutters. And so I'm gonna put all this aside and I will show you what I have done. So this is my electronic cutter. I have already cut this out, and you got the ones that with the frame, and then I believe this is the books, and this is the book, and this is the one with the cake. And I'll show you how I will work with the balloon, and I will also work with another card building this. So this is going to be my template, and I'm going to use the Stamparatus. Okay, so here is my bringing in my Stamparatus. And I'm hoping everyone knows how to use their Stamparatus, because it's an awesome tool to have. So I'm going to put my hand deliver on the bottom, which you can't see because basically you want to add I guess a stamp set so that you can actually go ahead and lift your platform and not have to struggle. Okay, so I'm going to put my platform like this. I got my foam and I got my paper, and so what I'm doing now is I'm going to place this template right here on the upper right hand corner, and if you're left-handed you can also put it on the left hand corner as well. And so what I've done was I have already pre-cut all my electronic all my paper out, and so what I'm going to do is actually put that right inside here, and when I set up my template. Okay, so I'm going to take my hand deliver stamp set, and what's really neat about this part is that when you're making multiple stuff or cards, you're going to take that template, turn it upside down so your stamp piece is, or your stamp image is down on the bottom. Okay, and then what you're going to do is now line up the balloon, and I made it so that it's about 1/8 of an inch outside the border. Okay, so we're going to line this all up, and then you're going to make sure that you line up your what do you call the strings down below here. So right here, okay, it's lined up at the very top corner, and that's why I have this square piece. And you see this part, this is where your balloon lies, the string. And so once you got the string all lined up, then you're going to go ahead and making sure that all your balloon is sitting inside this. Okay, and this will be the double stamping. So I'm going to take my template, I'm going to put my plate down, press it down, and there's my first setup. Then the second setup would be her skirt, and I'm going to put her, line this up in the skirt, and then just kind of like eyeballing it right now just to make sure that you got it all lined up. So I'm going to have my second template, put that down, and I want to double check to make sure that you have it all lined up. I'm going to ink both of these up, the balloon and the skirt. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Okay, I'm not too worried about not stamping the outline, just want to make sure that I got equal amount of spacings around the skirt. Okay, and then I'm going to press down my balloon, and it looks like everything is all lined up. Okay, so then here where the SVG file comes in, this is all pre-cut. Okay, now lay this right down here. first of all, ink up her skirt or ink up the balloon, your choice. Lay that down. And to prevent it from moving, so what I'm going to do is just going to put my magnet right there and then ink up my balloon. And it might be off just a little bit, so what I'm going to do is you can also move the balloon off. And so I need my chamois, if I can find it, right here. So the chamois here, I'm going to clean that off. And I'll keep this image as well because it's good still. Okay, so I'm going to redo my balloon, and what I'm going to do now is bring it just slightly a little bit lower than the actual stamped. Let's see, line up my ribbon and bring it down. Okay, so here I'm going to go again. Yeah, so here I'm going to got several pre-cut. I'm using Momentum ink because I'm going to color it with my blends, and the Momentum ink is great for the alcohol markers. So there's one. I'm going to move this over. And stamp. Now, those who are joining in, welcome. And what I have going on here is that if you put in a comment, you share, I will make a draw at the end of the live feed for an SVG file if you have this particular file. And so, oh goodness, it's off a little bit. Let's try that one more time. And it only takes the one time to really get it all lined up, and sometimes it may take you a little bit more to get it all lined up, but the white cardstock is very inexpensive, and so you might see my head, so I apologize that I'm going to line my head right over the camera so I can see. Okay, so I got this one, got that one. Okay, fingers crossed again. This is third times is a charm, right? Here's my cutout. Okay, stamp down. Okay, that's excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my skirt, and then wham. Okay, here's my, let's say that I need to make a bunch of these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp quickly, and if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, so anyways, the whole purpose of creating the SVG files is that when I need to make a bunch of cards, I don't want to be fiddling around with the two-step stamping. And at the same time, I know that when I did the first stamping, it took me a while to figure out the layout of all of these stamps. So what I ended up doing was I made the SVG file so that you can always know that your images is going to line up every single time. Okay, and then here's the balloon. Okay, so I got about 4 or 5 different pre-cuts already stamped. And I put this aside, so I'm going to clean up the skirt, clean up my balloons. Okay, and I'm going to put that away back in place. And so what I'm going to do is actually save these template right in my case so that I don't need to cut this again. Okay, so putting it all back. So when it comes to coloring your balloons, okay, I'm not going to use this because this is a dud right here. I'm going to throw that away. So here I got 4 pretty good stamped images. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is taking my stamping blends. I'm going to need my glasses now because I can't read the small prints. This is the Daffodil Delight. And this is the dark, and this is the light. So I'm going to use the Daffodil Light, and then I'm going to use the brush section. So here I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to quickly color in the one balloon. You want to also make sure that you have your work surface protected, because what happens is that when you turn it around, it's going to leak right through your cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to keep on doing my balloons. I'm going to keep this one for the darker one. So here I'm coloring all the balloons and then making it so that you got a darker shade on one side. And basically my light is shining from the left, so your dark images will be on the right. My light is shining on the right, and then your dark images on the left. Okay, so here's my fourth. Just color it in, and then go ahead and darken your left side. And you can use the darker color as well, but I tend to stick with one color sometimes, just depending on my mood. Okay, and then here is my next one. I'm going to color it all in quickly. Okay, and then pull in by mixing it. So then next I want to have my balloon a bit darker. So I'm going to use this Daffodil Delight darker and shading that all in. And remember, I said that the light is coming onto from the right hand side, so the left side I'm going to darken that in and then just lightly tap. Okay, again, color this in. And this is an awesome stamp set, and the only way to get this is that if you have a qualifying order of 200, you can actually get this for free. For free. And I love this set. This is awesome. So this is the fourth one right here. And then coloring the left hand side. Okay, so then the next one, Granny Smith Apple. Oh my goodness, this is such a bright color. I love it. Okay, and then I'm going to start really coloring this in. And this is the dark Granny Smith. Okay, and then to the left. And what I also recommend is taking your light and pulling the dark into the other shade. You got that shading. Okay, so here I'm going to do it for all four very quickly. So far I haven't really fussy cut anything, and it is good sometimes to fussy cut, but I'm starting to hate it. And now the coloring takes a lot longer than fussy cutting. So what I'm doing now is taking these, the SVG files, and making it so that when Stampin' Up! Doesn't have a die for it and you don't want to fussy cut, this is where I'm going to come in and create SVG files for demonstrator to demonstrate. Okay, pulling in my lighter color. Okay, and then here I'm going to change this up so that this one is just a lighter color. Light color Granny Apple. Okay, and again left. and then pulling. Okay, and then here I'm gonna make another color. So there are 6 balloons in total, so I'm gonna, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 8 totals. So you get the gist, right? That SVG is awesome when you can make it. No fussy cutting, and it actually helps you mass produce your images. I use my electronic cutter all the time, especially when I have classes. And it helps. And this is my second-hand person helping me. Okay, so here's that. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo, using the brush side. And I'm going to color that in really quick. And color this guy in. I'm not going to show all the coloring on all 4 of the balloons, so I'm going to just color the one for now. Okay, make that guy. And then I got the sea foam. And then here's this balloon. Like that. Okay, and then if you want like a highlight on the balloon, then I recommend taking the stamping chalk marker, and this will create little white stripes of the balloon. So you can't really see it, but then if you go into like the darker images or colored images, you can actually just see it very faintly. Okay, so I'm gonna little guy. And you don't really want it too much of a contrast of the white. So then with the skirt, I'm gonna make this. Let's color this guy the lovely lipstick. I'm gonna here just add a bit of the pink here, and then I'm going to take a lighter color. I think this is the Flirty Flamingo, mixing the two together. Okay, and then taking the the brush side, pulling it, the darker color into the lighter color, and then just keep blending it until you don't have like a harsh line. And then for her shoes, probably make the same color. And this is the lovely lipstick. Pull that in. Okay, so there's that. Okay, it's very very basic, and I also gonna probably do her cuffs to make it match. And right here. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, so then the next thing, what I'm gonna do, and all these measurements are on my blog. It will be on my blog. And so what I have done was I cut this at 3.5 by 11. I'm going to score this at 1.5 and 5.5. So bear with me. I don't have my scoreboard here. So I'm going to score this at 1.5 and 5.5. So here is 1.5 and 5.5. So we're going to valley fold at the 5.5 and using the bone folder. Okay, and then here you're gonna fold this one in half, and you're gonna mountain fold this. Okay, so valley fold and mountain fold. So then I have cut this at 3.5 by 4, and again, like I said, all the measurements are on my blog. And here I'm taking the glue. You can use whatever gluing medium you want. I like using glue now just because now I can maneuver it just a tad when I'm kind of stuck. So I'm going to put this right onto the front of this. See, I'm just moving it over a little bit. And if you are gluing, if you don't have, I'm going to show you, we don't have a cord 1/8 of an inch of tape, so I'm hoping that Stampin' Up will come up with them. So that if you don't have 1/8 of an inch tape, you can use glue. Okay, so I'm just showing you that. So I'm going to burnish this, but if you don't have the 1/8 inch, I'm going to take a bit of glue. You just don't need much, just that tiny bit of glue. So I'm going to release this release paper. Okay, and then place that down. And then this gal here, gonna pop this up. Okay, and then release the dimensionals here, and pop this up. And place this gal right in the middle, and then just about that high. Okay, and then so with the insert, I got the basic black and my white, and so here I'm using glue again, and just add. This is my mat for the like a gift card or a Visa card when it comes to Christmas time or giving it as a birthday. So I created a mat, and so here I am gluing this down. And then in here you can stamp your sentiment, whether happy birthday or Merry Christmas. And then what I want to show you is you pull this one and you attach your credit card. This is my debit card, but it's, you know, you can use a Visa gift card or anything like that. And then to dress it up, here I've already punched some circles, and this is about 1¼ inch circle, or you can do 1½ inch circle depending on what type of punch you have. And basically select your colors. So let's go ahead and do the light Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to use the brush side. And so I'm going to go quickly color this in, and you don't, your optional is to take a remnant of Bermuda Bay. But what happens when you don't have Bermuda Bay or any other color? Why not just color it in that you know you're going to need, right? And just color that in. And then I'm going to take my let's go with, what's this color? The Daffodil Delight. And I color this guy in. And again, I'm not going to fuss over some cardstock. So just got some white remnants, and I am just going to color that in. So here I'm going to make my left hand side darker. And then my Bermuda Bay darker. Okay, and then my chalk marker, and just kind of making a little bit of white shadow here, and then right here. And of course, balloons don't normally have, or will always have, like you know, threads. And so what I'm going to do now is turn them over, and then I'm going to attach that there. So you're going to use my where's my turn tape? I can't find it. Okay, so I'm going to use just regular tape, and I'm going to hold it right at the bottom here. turn this over. Okay, and just snip whatever length of twine, strings, whatever you have on hand. Sorry, I don't have fingernails. So I'm going to pull that release paper and pull this release paper. So I'm going to add this guy right here. Okay, and then I'm going to add another piece right here. And so here, the balloon, you don't want too much hanging right inside the black area because that's where your card is going to sit. So my recommendation is figure out where your balloon's going to sit. And then I got this guy. I'm going to tuck him in. And I know that the tape is sitting right here, right on the edge. And if you don't want that, then you can actually put that here. And then if you have extra balloons or circles that you have actually cut out, go ahead and piece it right on the back if you want to hide it. Okay, and then what I'm doing now is I'm taking my balloon and just adding a bit of glue dot right on the edge right here so that my strings can actually sit at the bottom without having it flying all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to just look for one glue dot and take my pick and then add it right here. And you don't really need much, so just kind of a little bit, fold it right in half, and then right here you can actually, if you want, you can also add a bit of a bow, okay, just to keep the stickiness, or just tap it with your embossing buddy to get rid of all the stickiness, and then the stickiness is gone. Okay, and then so with this particular piece, I want to make sure that I got enough room so that when you're putting your card in, it's going to go in that pocket, slide it in, and you know that you're going to have enough room so that the person who the recipient is going to pull this out. Okay, and so what I have done here, now if you look closely, look at all the cards that I have made, and it's little pocket gift cards for each one of them. And I was just at a ballpark just this last weekend with my husband, and I was oh, I guess my face is like off. Anyways, I was at a ballpark and I had already die cut everything, and what I've been doing was stamping it on and off and then just coloring it at a ballpark and watching my husband play while I was coloring. Okay, so then here are all these great gift cards that I got here. And then I've got one more card that I actually want to show you, and I haven't really designed this, so it's stamping on a whim, I'm going to call that. So I don't really have a pattern in mind, but I'm going to show you as I go. So I'm going to bring back my Stamparatus. Let's clean up this workstation. And let's say that I need a bunch of thank you cards. Okay, so I'm going to use this scale, and I have pre-cut them all. Okay, let's go clean up this here. And the pre-cut card gal is right there. Put my Stamparatus on, and this is my template. Okay, so then it's pre-cut for you. So this guy, oh, sorry, I got to set my stamps right before you can stamp. Okay, so let's go with this girl here. Again, line her skirt up. Where am I? Line her skirt up. Sorry, my head's gonna go in the camera again. And basically what you need to do is, got my glasses on again, is to make sure you have 1/8 of an inch all the way around, which I do right now, and it's upper right hand corner. I'm gonna put my plate down, and then the sign, okay, turn that over, and then the sign, my head's gonna go get in the way again. and then go right over top, and then my second plate. So when you got this all set up, do a test. Here's my test. You can stamp it on here, but I've already got an image, so I'm going to do another test. And this is just scrap, okay? Momentum ink, tap, tap, tap. Close this up. It's pretty good, okay? So because it's in position, I didn't stamp the waistline, so I'm going to go tap, tap, tap. Restamp it again. And then the sign. I think I got her fingers right. Looks like I got her fingers upside down. Redo. Make sure her fingers are down instead of up. I'll remove this, and I'm going to realign this. Okay. It's easier to look right straight down so that you can actually see the images, and then here we go, tap, tap, tap. Fingers crossed. Yep, her fingers are down. And then put this right here. Okay, and like I said, if you have all of these all pre-cut, it's like boom, 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 and you don't have to worry about positioning it again, and it really takes no time at all once you position it right with your Stamparatus. And then so here, I'm gonna go ahead and color this gal, and I also need, let's see, miss you, here's my thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to worry about using my Stamparatus, and I am going to use my block. So in order to line up your letters, place it right onto your grid line, and you see how your come on, everything's sticking to each other. Okay, you're going to place right there, and you see how this is lined up to the grid line right here. The thank you, okay, the thank part is lined up to the grid line. Now I have my own acrylic grid line block that I also make, and so what I'm doing now is taking that grid line, and that grid line is now lining up to the grid line right on top of the grid sheet. Okay, and once that's done, I'm going to add this gal right in the middle, turn my Magenta ink the other way, tap, 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 making sure it's all good. And you can also use your Stamparatus, and I actually should show you the Stamparatus technique and using the other side of the plate. So here I got your thank you, and you see how long it took me to stamp that, right? So let's bring the Stamparatus back again. Now I don't have to line up the thank you, the dress and the thank you. Bring back my Stamparatus. Put that in place, that in place. Okay, so the thank you, turn this upside down, making sure that it's lined up to where I want it, and using my tweezer. Let's line it up down here. Come on. So the initial, like I said, when you're doing the initial stamping, it takes a bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to lift up my plate, turn it around, and then go ahead and stamp down. Okay, so I got 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to turn this around, take my cut piece, and my Magenta ink. So there's 1, 2, and I scuffed it up a little bit. That is okay, because I'm going to fix it, and I'll show you how to fix it. So then I'm going to turn the plate around. And then thank you. So there. So there's your thank you. So if you are making multiple, you got the multiple pre-cut, stamp, 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 turn it over, stamp, 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 and then turn it over and stamp, stamp, stamp. Okay? So in order, because I have mucked up this particular thank you, I'm going to take my 0.5 mil black pen, and all I'm going to do is create little stitch lines. Like this. Just kind of random, making little strings. Okay? So it looks like an artwork. Okay, and then now I'm going to decorate the skirt, probably with line, Granny Smith line. And using the stamping blends. Don't forget to comment and share my video, because at the end I will give you, pick a winner for the SVG files for the hand stamped. And then you know that you need to get one, right? Okay, so I'm going to color the shoes. Okay, and then there's your thank you. So here I got a 4 1/4 by 11 cardstock, score at 5.5. This is 1.5 of designer paper. So then I'm gonna add the glue right to the back, and then at this time I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get a, I guess I should have done a gluing on the cardstock. This is Old Olive cardstock, and then I'm going to add this right here on the left hand side. Okay, and then if you want to add a thank you lady or color your sign, go ahead and color it. And then here I'm going to take my dimensionals. Right there. Okay, and there you go. A bunch of thank you notes that hopefully you can mass produce. And so that is all I have today. Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if I can answer any questions if you have. Go back to all my people. Okay, Jennifer asked how much. I'm not sure what how much is. If you are still on here, just let me know. What is the SVG files for from Barbara? And Barbara, this SVG files is when you are using electronic cutters. I am a, let me switch this over. I am a heavy use of electronic cutter, and what I do is I make my own cutting files so that when it comes to doing a big class, I cut my materials with my electronic cutters, especially when you have a whole bunch of cards and it's not going to have any wastage. And so what I do is that I know we are supposed to teach stamping up stuff, but at the same time I am teaching you stamping up stuff, but also teaching you how to mass produce this when you are when you have a large class, or when you are doing multiple cards to make thank you cards or birthday cards, and you need lots of it because you don't have time, a lot of time, especially when you're teaching, creating, and a whole bunch of stuff. So that is what the SVG files are for, to help you stamp, to help you from doing any fussy cutting. We do have dies, but there are dies that are not available, and Stampin' Up! Has not come out with them. And so any of these demos who use electronic cutters can go ahead and download this file, and then it will be available for demos. And I'm helping out the demos so that they can speed up their class. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, Sandy, welcome Sandy. Hello, Tony Woods, welcome. Christina, yes, and Amy Todd and Barbara. Barbara asks, is it Cricut or Scan and Cut? I don't know much about the Cricut. The Scan and Cut, you can actually use it so that you can stamp your image on a sheet of paper, and then use the Scan and cut it out. Those who don't have Scan and Cut, it can use this particular file, and they can use it with their, I think it's called the Silhouette Cameo, and they can use it with that kind of machine, or any electronic machine that reads SVG, which is called Scalable Vector Graphic, and you can make it as large as you want or small enough that you want. So anyways, yes, do share my video, do come back, do comment. I'm going to be back here probably in 2 weeks, and I'll show you a different gift card. So in the meantime, let's go and see how many people use their electronic cutter to cut materials up. Is anybody here? If you do, just kind of give me a happy hearts or thumbs up and let me know. And then while I go ahead and set up the Woo box. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna close this down, and so let's see. I don't know. Quick play. Okay, yeah. So here I'm going to go as one. Still learning my system here. Where's my Woo box? Here's my, okay, here is my post, and I'm gonna refresh this post. Uh-oh. Sorry about this. Okay, so it's refreshing, and I am going to pick a winner. User, and pick a winner. And I've never used this Woo box. I don't know how to use. Oh, Tony Woods, there you go, from Smoky Southern Oregon. Welcome and congratulations. So Tony, what you need to do is provide me with your email address, and it will take you to what they call a box.com, and all you have to do is create a profile, and you'll get the downloads from me, and I will send it off to you if you provide me with your email address. So anyways, have a good Monday afternoon, and thank you for joining me. I will be back in 2 weeks, and tell all your friends about who I am. If you missed the beginning, I am Liz Holloway from Canada, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demo, so I'm starting to do a lot of social media here on my Facebook page, and hopefully I will see some of you in Florida for the convention, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye. If you have any questions, I can be reached at liz.holloway@gmail.com, or visit my blog www.lizhollowaydesign.ca, and the following Facebook pages: Liz Holloway Design or the Painted Per Fanatics.